is that row of windows right over there. But when you look out there today, you're not seeing any cars, right? So I'm going to tell you why that is. It starts in 1889. And in 1889, Seattle is a timber town. And we looked like it too. All of our buildings are made out of wood. Our sidewalks are made out of wood. Our streets are lined with sawdust. Even the town's water pipes are made out of wood. Now, enter Johann Bach. On June 6, 1889, Johann Bach was a young Swedish immigrant working as an apprentice to a cabinet maker, just about 3 blocks that way. Now, one of his responsibilities was to melt down the glue that they used in a little pot over a gasoline flame. Well, he wasn't paying attention and the glue boiled over and caught on fire. This is essentially a grease fire. And what's the last thing you throw in a grease fire? Water. What was the first thing he threw on the grease fire? Water. Exactly. The fire quickly spread through the cabinet maker's shop to the store upstairs, which happened to be a paint store. The whole building went up in flames. The flames then hopped over to the next building, Dietz and Meyer Liquor Warehouse. And they had just received 500 barrels of whiskey just that morning. The whole warehouse went up in flames. Now, this is when Seattle's all-volunteer fire department showed up on the scene. They got out their hoses and they plugged them into the town's brand new water system. It's never been tested. What can go wrong, right? So they hook up the first couple of hoses, they start spraying water on the fire and everything's going fine. But then they hook up the third hose, when all of a sudden they lost water pressure to all of the hoses. They have no idea why. So they grab the pump truck and they run down to Elliott Bay. The idea is they're going to pump salt water out of the bay up to where the fire is. But there is another problem. They get down to Elliott Bay and it's low tide. They can't get the hoses to reach where the water is all the way up to the fire. Now, meanwhile, a wind has picked up from out of the north and this fire begins to spread. It goes down one of these little wooden sidewalks to the building next door, which happened to be a saloon filled with things like whiskey. Up in flames goes the building. It goes down the little wooden sidewalk to the next building, which happened to be
a saloon.
Another saloon, exactly.